Hi, ArcfieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Wednesday morning, May 17th. A chilly air mass is moving into the northeastern part of the nation. About 10 days or so ago, we talked about the possibility of another cold air outbreak. At that time, it looked like it might go into the central states, and then a couple of days later, it looked more and more likely for the northeastern part of the nation. Indeed, that is the air mass we're talking about right now. Many parts of upstate Pennsylvania, New York, New England, interior New England, have a freeze watch out for late tonight, early tomorrow morning, and there certainly can be some late season patchy frost in many areas overnight tonight going into the morning hours on Thursday. All these areas in blue represent areas that the National Weather Service has issued a freeze watch, and again, the possibility of late season frost in a lot of areas. So if you have some tender vegetation outside in upstate Pennsylvania, for example, upstate New York, you may want to do something about that possibility of late night frost. And that extends really all the way down, I believe, to the northern western suburbs of Philadelphia, let's say, along the I-95 corridor, certainly even all the way down into the suburbs well north and west of D.C. Watch out for the possibility of some frost. Certainly those far northern western suburbs of D.C., Philadelphia, and New York City can experience the 30s late tonight and the possibility of that patchy frost. The rest of the nation, rather quiet. It's really been overall pretty quiet past few days. It looks like a pretty quiet next few days as well. Again, the big story right now is really the chilly air mass right now across the northeastern part of the nation. Well, let's take a look at last night's operational run of the GFS from 0Z, and here is that representation of the chilly air moving into the northeastern part of the nation as we speak. A cold frontal system slipped through Philadelphia, D.C. in the early morning hours today, and it'll turn out to be a breezy and much cooler day today in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, Boston, and throughout the northeastern quadrant of the nation. This is well below normal for this time of the year, and again, it can result in some late season frost in the overnight hours going to the early morning hours on Thursday in the Great Lakes, the Mid-Atlantic, the northeastern states, especially those normally colder outlying areas that typically get the coldest temperatures in the metropolitan region. Meanwhile, out in the western states, above normal conditions, especially so across Pacific Northwest and the southwestern part of Canada. Let's move forward with the 850 millibar temperature anomalies, and we'll notice that in coming days, maybe the next couple of weeks, there will be additional cold air outbreaks, cold relative to the time of the year, cold air outbreaks coming into the northeastern states. This is for midday Thursday, and then we'll go towards the upcoming weekend. Here we go into Saturday, a lot of warmer than normal conditions out across that Pacific Northwest, southwestern part of Canada. Very strong upper level ridge in that part of North America. We continue to push quickly through the weekend into the next week, and by the time we get to early next week, next Monday, here's another chilly air mass headed for the same area, the northeastern part of the nation. Really cooler than normal conditions all the way down into the Mississippi Valley as well, but a lot of warmer than normal weather over the southwestern part of Canada. Go out even farther in time, and again, additional chilly air masses on the way for New England. This is all the way out to about a week from now, the middle of next week, and then we'll see some ridging pop up here. We'll talk about that in a moment or two over the southeastern part of Canada. This is going out to the end of next week. We're looking at the temperature forecast map at 850 millibars for next Friday, May 26th. And this is going to be the result of a very strong upper level ridge popping in the southeastern part of Canada. Many longtime viewers here of Arcfield Weather know that I always look for ridging in the southeastern part of Canada whenever we're getting into tropical season as a red flag, because many times if a strong ridge pops in this part of North America, that can allow for some tropical activity all the way down into the Gulf of Mexico, the southwestern part of the Atlantic Ocean. It's something we'll have to watch for as we get towards the end of the month of May. Well, let's in fact take a look at that potential upper level ridge in about 10 days or so over southeastern Canada. We're starting off right here on the Wednesday morning forecast map from the 0Z GFS model run, 500 millibar height anomalies, and here is a lot of blue here, below normal heights, and these are below normal temperatures in this part of the nation. Again, the possibility of frost in a lot of the interior locations late tonight, early tomorrow of the mid-Atlantic and the northeast U.S. Now, let's move forward here, and we'll watch as we go through the end of this week and then into the upcoming weekend. We have another frontal system sliding across the Great Lakes by the early part of the weekend, and that will push through into the eastern states on Saturday. Maybe dry, but there is a low pressure area that could form out ahead of it right along the coast that could produce some shower activity Friday night, Saturday, in or just to the east of the I-95 corridor. Now, let's move forward quickly. Here's another below normal height field associated with another below normal temperature air mass here for the northeastern states early next week. And then we watch as we get into the latter part of next week the development of a strong upper level ridge as represented here by these orange colors here. These are higher heights than normal, and this is going all the way out to next Friday, the end of next week, Friday, May 26th. And again, this is something that sets a red flag off in my mind whenever you get into tropical season, and I do believe we're getting into tropical season, maybe an early start to the tropical season. And here we have a developing ridge here. Let's in fact make this little boulder here. Developing strong upper level ridge right in this area here by the end of next week. And again, that often allows for undercutting tropical type mischief over the Bahamas or spilling out over the Gulf of Mexico. Indeed, the GFS model has a little bit of a blue here, a little bit of a below normal heights and upper level lows starting to show up here. So this is a time period we'll have to watch. In the tropical outlook, which you can find at arcfieldweather.com, we talked about possibility of an early start to the tropical season, meaning during the month of May. And this is that possible opportunity here. Again, late this month, we'll have a setup here that we'll have to watch for with the development of that strong upper level ridge over southeastern Canada. Well, now let's wrap up with the surface forecast maps. Canadian high pressure right here, controlling the scene in the northeastern part of the nation. We have a strong fetch of air out of the north, flowing into New England at the moment, and now into the mid-Atlantic region, all the way down to D.C., Philadelphia. The winds have shifted to a northerly direction. They'll pick up in intensity in that D.C. to Philadelphia corridor as we go through the morning hours. Clearing skies will set in, and temperatures will be pretty steady. They won't go up too much from the starting point here on Wednesday morning. Certainly at least 10 degrees cooler than temperatures yesterday afternoon. Again, chilly air mass now moving into the northeastern part of the nation. And let's now walk forward here with the 0Z run of the GFS. Again, that Canadian high pressure stays in control. And this is the forecast map for tomorrow morning. So again, it's a decent setup for some late night frost. Suburban areas, far northern western suburbs of D.C., northern western suburbs of Philadelphia, and certainly upstate Pennsylvania, upstate New York, interior New England. We have winds will lighten up late tonight as that Canadian high pressure area moves right on top of the mid-Atlantic region. Pretty good setup for a very late season frost scenario. So again, be forewarned if you have any tender vegetation outside that there could certainly be the 30s, mid to upper 30s in some areas, can result in some frost at the ground level late tonight, early tomorrow morning. It's unusually late for this possibility, but indeed it is there late tonight, early tomorrow morning. Now, let's move forward here. That high moves off the coast later tomorrow night and opens the door for a little bit warmer weather along the eastern seaboard by the time we get to Friday. And there's certainly some signs for low pressure to form along the Carolina coastline at the end of the work week. We're talking later Friday night. At the same time, a frontal system starts to press in from the north and west. This low pressure area could throw some showers into the I-95 corridor region. This particular model run from 0Z last night did not do that, but I think that is on the table, that this could be a little bit more of a widespread event here along the eastern seaboard later Friday night into the day on Saturday. At the same time, that front tends to weaken as it approaches the eastern seaboard. Then we go into the upcoming weekend, and it looks like high pressure kind of resumes control in the mid-Atlantic region for the second half of the weekend. And notice up here, a lot of these blue dashed lines. This is low thicknesses and another chilly air mass over southeastern Canada by the time we get to the early part of next week. And that, again, can affect the northeastern part of the nation by the early part of next week with yet another below normal air mass. Not a lot of significant precipitation out across the western half of the nation over the next several days. So that's it for now. For ArcfieldWeather.com, this has been meteorologist Paul Doreen.